Hello everybody. So excited for this today and I've had the best weekend, so you probably know because I haven't exactly been quiet about it, but it's been my birthday and I've been milking it for everything it's worth. I've had an amazing weekend with James flew in my sister and her partner, so we had a really awesome weekend, full of drinking, eating out, all that sort of stuff. And I've just realised I've got to share this while I'm live, and I haven't bought another device out to do it with me, so 1 minute guys. Whilst live, I'm going to say to James, can you share this for me? He's like, yeah. So I wanted to show you this while people are getting logged in. I had so many amazing gifts, and I'm grateful for every one of them. 2 gifts that I wanted to just share with you, which is so special. One was from my best friend who rang me and said, I'd love to give my little girl, she's pregnant, her middle name Michelle, because I can't think of another. She said to me, or they said to me, Ellie and Dan, they were like, I can't think of another woman that we'd love to name her after, because, you know, you've been a big inspiration to us. And so that was a moment where I cried my eyes out. I also cried my eyes out at my mum's gift. It's just amazing. So she sent me, like, with my sister, she sent across pictures of me when I was little, and she put little post-its on them of, like, telling me like how old I was, and like on this one she's put, today you're 34, every year I love you more and more. And it's really nice to get pictures of me when I'm little, because I didn't have many. And then she also sent me this. How cool is this, guys? So it's a notebook. It says, be a flamingo in a flock of pigeons. And inside the notebook, which I'm never using, I'm just keeping to remember this day, she wrote on little post-it notes, it said, those pigeons knew what they were talking about when they called you flamingo legs. And what she means by that, I was bullied at school. A group of people used to shout flamingo legs because I had like really, really skinny legs. And it used to really upset me when I was little. And no matter what I ate, I'd never put weight on my legs. They were just like so stick thin, they were ridiculous. So those pigeons knew what they were talking about when they called you flamingo legs. It was just so apt and such a special message. So I just wanted to share that with you, because I just loved those gifts. Who have I got logged in, just so I know who's watching? I can see there are quite a few of you watching, but I can't see who. So let me know who's here. This is part 3 of the 4-part series that I started a few weeks ago, and it's my journey from 4 years ago, and the fact that we were living in a caravan and having to keep ourselves really small so that we could invest in ourselves, to today running $1 million business and having a very different lifestyle. And this idea to run this series was just really spontaneous. Facebook is amazing, isn't it? And it came up on my memories that 4 years ago I was in the caravan. It was a picture, and it just triggered this moment in me where I was like, oh my God, how crazy is it that was just 4 years ago? And I can remember feeling so desperate in those moments. I can remember thinking, oh my God, like, is everything going to be all right? Is anything going to change? And it's amazing how quickly you can turn things around with the right steps. So I wanted to break down those steps for you in this 4-part series. And this is part 3. So if you haven't seen part 1 and 2, you're going to want to go back and watch that, or else this isn't going to make much sense. But who have we got logging in? Hey Carol, how you doing? Hi Kelly. Hey Nina. Oh, nice to see you. Hey Kate. Who else have we got? Because I know there's more people than that. You've been silent watchers, which is cool. You can do that if you want to. But let me know if you're logging in live, or if you're watching on replay. Hey Sevda, I think that's how I say your name, Sevda. Hey Caroline. Oh my God. I'm going to say Diana, because the first name, I can't figure out how to say that at all. I do apologise. So last week we left off, hey Charlotte, where I had just moved in to the house in Lanzarote. I'd just seen the lighthouse at night and knew that it was a real message and that I was exactly where I needed to be at exactly the right moment in time. And I just felt so calm for the first time in a long time. I knew that everything was coming together and everything was working out for me. So I should probably mention as well that at this point, the business that I was running online was a network marketing business. And that's where all of my focus was going, and that's where the majority of my income was coming from. And I no longer build a network marketing business, and today is about why that change happened, and what happened leading up to that big change, because I walked away really from a significant income to make that change. And I've got some notes here, and do you know, it's been so therapeutic writing all this stuff down and going back over and remembering the steps, because I'm relearning lessons by going over it and reflecting. So, okay, what happened next was my income did this again. So, you know, when we moved to Lanzarote, we were just in that space where we were getting by. You know, we could now cover our outgoings, which was brilliant. I could cover my outgoings and still be able to invest and save a little bit. So it was that first moment really where we felt like we could breathe again. And then we experienced this huge amount of growth really quickly in the business. And I want to talk you through why and what the catalyst to that expansion was. Because we went from like up to that 6-figure income mark very, very quickly. And that had been my goal really since I moved into the Caravan, because I knew that was kind of thrive mode for us. You know, around that 10 grand a month was where we felt like we could really live a life that was not just getting by anymore and not just surviving, but have, you know, disposable income and feel that sense of freedom that we hadn't felt for a really long time. And we achieved that really quickly in a matter of months of moving into that house in Lanzarote. And the reason, when I look back, I can see why there was a few real catalysts to that. One was that I really felt like I was living my best life. I'd always wanted, and what I'd set out, as I said in previous episodes, to achieve was I wanted to be in the sun. I was waking up to blue sky with palm trees. I could see the sea. I visited the sea every day. I felt calm and relaxed. Island life is really, really chilled. It felt totally different to my life in the UK. It felt like that image that when I'd close my eyes and visualise so many times, it felt like that was now my reality. And the funny thing is, it really didn't take that much in terms of income coming in to achieve it. You know, we can get so busy playing the I'll be happy when game, and it would have been really easy to go, no, we'll move to Lanzarote when we're earning 6 figures, or we'll move to Lanzarote when this. But actually, to live our best life generally doesn't take that much in terms of income. It takes some bold decisions and choices, but it doesn't, you know, for me, it didn't have to be huge amounts of money to give me the life that I wanted. But I just had to be smart about that. So there was nothing wrong with the Caravan holiday. It just wasn't a long-term solution. And it didn't move into it because that was me living my best life. I moved into it as a means to an end. But also, you know, don't get me wrong, I felt so blessed every day. It wasn't a struggle to live in the Caravan. I loved it. But for me now, this really felt like this was where I really wanted to be. So because I felt so happy and alive, and I was in an environment where, because the pace was much slower, my mind felt much calmer and more relaxed. It meant that I was able to focus so much more. So I guess it comes down to knowing yourself. You might not be the same as me. You might not need to or want to wake up to that sort of environment, that might not be your thrive mode. It might not be travel for you. It might not be a different country, but it's about knowing when you close your eyes and picture your best life, what does that look like? And what steps can you take really now or really quickly to get to that point? Because when we feel good, we achieve more. So that was a big catalyst to the business doing that. A second thing there was less distraction. I, of course, missed my family and friends terribly. Of course I did. But I didn't have much going on in terms of distractions to remove my focus from just building the business that I wanted to build. Friends and family were quite far away, so it wasn't an option anymore to kind of just pop round for a coffee in the middle of the day, or to have a phone call from someone saying, can you just do this, and have to react to that, because there's just me and James. We didn't have any friends on the island. We had one friend on the island. So there was no distraction. Now, this was the best thing and the worst thing, because I am a self-confessed workaholic. I am someone that struggles with balance. And when I say struggles, I say that because I know that I'm always going to be in recovery. It's a little bit, I would imagine, like being a recovering alcoholic or drug addict. You know that you're never over that completely, and you don't want to put yourself in a situation that where you could fall into bad habits again, and you have to constantly keep check on that. And I'm the same. I can very easily go out of balance and go into a space of doing too much and not taking enough time off and not taking enough downtime. And being in Lanzarote, where there's no distractions, was the best thing and the worst thing, because it was the best thing because it meant I could focus in, and that was a catalyst for growth. It was the worst thing because sometimes I could do too much and I could forget to take enough time out. So that was a challenge for me around this time, and something that I fell in and out of burnout quite a lot. And it was totally my own fault because I didn't have to do that. But it was something that I'd started at this point to recognise and get a handle on. So it was great. It was a growth opportunity. It was something that I was starting to master, but I wasn't there yet by any means at this point. So I was in my network marketing business at this time. I got to a level of success where I was consistently top recruiter. Network marketing businesses, for the bigger incomes, the one skill that you just have to master is bringing people into the business that want the same as you, that want to build their own business, and helping them get started and become successful. So recruitment plays a huge part in a network marketing business, and learning how to generate leads, same as any other business. Lead generation, whether the end service or product is a business opportunity like network marketing, whether it's a product that people buy, whether it's a service like a course or a program, lead generation is the lifeblood of any business. And I knew that. So I knew I needed to master lead generation and bringing people into the business. Now, I'd done that to a point where I was consistently number one in the UK for our company. So I'd started to develop a little bit of a profile in the company as being a leader. People were reaching out, asking me, how are you doing it? What are you doing? How are you getting such incredible results? Our team become one of the fastest growing teams in the UK. We were consistently hogging the top spot for pretty much everything. And I was doing it from a remote little island, all online. Not many other people were doing that, especially in the company that I worked alongside. They were quite an old-fashioned, traditional network marketing company that really embraced older, traditional methods, like face-to-face work, physically getting in the car and driving to have face-to-face meetings with people, handing out leaflets like paper matter and getting people in a room. And I was doing something totally different. I wasn't doing any of that. Now, the reason I wasn't doing any of that is because it didn't fit with what I wanted for my life. If I had to do that, it wasn't worth doing at all, because it was just going to give me more of the same as what I'd got in other businesses. It was going to mean that I was tied to a location, that I was spending time driving up and down the motorway, that I was working long hours and not being able to sit by the sea and work from my laptop. I'd worked really hard at learning how and building on the digital marketing experience that James and I already had from nightclubs. I'd invested shitloads in, that's why I moved into a Caravan, for God's sake, so I could invest in myself to learn this stuff, because I wasn't going to learn it in the company I was with for free, because none of my mentors were doing that. And nobody really wanted to talk about that in the company I was with. They wanted to stick to the traditional methods. I think it's because some of the leaders were scared of change, and I don't think they fully understood what change meant for their business, and that frightened them. So they wanted to keep everybody doing what they'd always done. And for me, that wasn't an option. I saw an opportunity to create a business online that gave me everything I wanted in terms of freedom and income, but I couldn't do it the way I was being taught in the company. So that's why I'd had to, you know, make the sacrifices I had, invest in me, and learn how to do it. So it was no surprise that now I was really mastering that and getting results from that, because where focus goes, energy flows. I took the time to master it. What might have felt like an overnight success for people watching, but it really wasn't, because the months leading up I'd been making these sacrifices and learning and applying and to get it right. So it really took off from that point. 6-figure income, traveling for free. I was qualifying for company incentives. They were paying for me to go to places like Mexico, South Africa, Dubai. I was getting bonus checks when I arrived there, you know, like 10 grand bonus checks, etc. And this was on top of my monthly income, and things were really good. And I was enjoying the journey. And I was getting to speak on stage globally, and things were great. Everything that I wanted was coming together. But there were a few things that bothered me. Few niggles, not major concerns. I wasn't unhappy, but there were a few niggles. And I want to tell you what those niggles were and what led me to go, actually, network marketing's not the best route for me. It's a route that I absolutely endorse. Of course I do. Look at everything that I've just talked you through that it gave me. It delivered a 6-figure income I delivered the 6-figure income using network marketing as a vehicle, and that's the key thing. It's not a get rich quick scheme, as you know. It delivered me being able to live on an island, and that meant that people were going to me, how are you doing that? Because like, we're being taught to drive up and down the motorway and but you're living there doing that. Like, that's what we want. So I'd also started to run retreats from Lanzarote around this time to show people how we were doing what we were doing, and to help people to do the same, and help people to generate leads online, and to actually get that laptop lifestyle, because so many people were spouting this shit. Hashtag living your best life, hashtag laptop lifestyle, and really, they were working 18-hour days, trying to message all their friends and sending spammy messages on Facebook and getting it fucking wrong, and having zero balance, and then having to sit with someone going, this opportunity is amazing, come and join my team, and really they were just fucking knackered and not getting any results. But I was actually walking the walk. I had a great life, living in a location that I've always wanted to live, truly working from the beach, truly working from by the pool, had balance, and earning a great income. But I had niggles, and here's the niggles that I had. And here's the things that made me start going, okay, something needs to change. The first thing was, there were some really, really amazing people that I just couldn't help, that I knew I could help, but not in network marketing. I'd learned a lot leading up to this point in my other businesses, and about digital marketing, about lead generation, attraction marketing, building a business online, building a business that's automated. I'd learned a lot of stuff that could help people outside of network marketing. And I was coming across people all the time that were amazing women, but that just didn't want to be network marketers. These might be people that reached out to me and said, how do I work with you? And then I talked to them about the opportunity and it just wasn't a fit. But they had amazing skills and experience and knowledge that they could monetize online through selling an online course or program. But I couldn't help them with that because I was a network marketer, and I was there to help them build a network marketing business. So there was a good proportion of people that were coming to me for help that I just didn't have anything for. And I didn't want to force everyone to be a network marketer if I could see that it wasn't a fit. That didn't sit right with me. And then there were people in my team that did start a network marketing business, and I could see that there was a lot of resistance because they didn't love the process. They didn't love what network marketing is about. What they loved was what it could give them. They loved the idea of earning a great income, working from the laptop. They loved the idea of being at home with the kids and being able to run their own business. They loved what it could give them, but they didn't love the business. Being really honest, they didn't. They didn't love what they had to do every day in order to create that. They didn't actually want to be network marketers. if we were to like look at real mission and purpose and the thing that lights them up, network marketing wasn't always it for them. But I couldn't then say to them, well, have you thought about this? Like, I worked with incredible people that I could see had experience and knowledge that they could turn into an online business outside of network marketing that could be just not, if not more profitable than inside network marketing. But I couldn't start sharing that information with them and like talk them out of the network marketing business, because then that didn't make business sense for me. That wasn't in line with my strategy, so I felt really torn. And that seed had been planted, and the more I realised it, the more evidence it started to, and I started to think I would be better off as a coach outside of network marketing that could help people develop incomes online using what I know and the strategies that I've implemented myself to get the success that I have, because it was all applicable to other businesses. The bottom line is, what I know and knew then is that network marketing wasn't the only way. But some people felt like it was. It was like network marketing or you're stuck in a job for the rest of your life. And I heard people kind of saying that from stages at network marketing events. Like, you know, it's either this, and you work hard and you do what most people aren't prepared to do, or you're going to be in a job forever. And that's not fucking true, not in the 21st century. Social media, digital marketing, the age of technology and the age of information, there's opportunity everywhere for you to make money online. It's not just network marketing. And I knew that, and I could see that some great people were feeling torn, like I've kind of got to do this and be a slave to it, even if I don't love it, or I'm going to be in a job, because they didn't know anything else. So I was starting to think, I can help more people if I'm a coach. I can have a greater impact if I'm a coach. The other thing that started to niggle at me was that you don't have total control. To have true wealth, you need complete control over some of your income sources. You need complete control over your key income sources. If as a network marketer, your main source of income is that, I mean, we should all have multiple income streams anyway. I'm a big believer of that. The average millionaire has 7 income streams. But nobody was talking about this in network marketing, because everybody wants you to just build that, because it's in their interest for you to build that. You know, your upline wants you to just build that. So people don't talk about what it really takes to be a wealthy entrepreneur, and that actually multiple income streams are smart, and actually a lot of the top leaders have probably got multiple income streams, but it's all just build this, get your blinkers on, focus on one thing, because that's what they need you and want you to do. And I struggled with that for a couple of reasons. One, because I know that's not true. Multiple income streams are smart. And the second reason is because you don't have total control over your network marketing business. The product isn't yours, therefore it can be changed. The ingredients can be changed, it can be taken off sale. There's a lot of things that are outside of your control, and if these things happen, your income and your business is impacted, and there's fuck all you can do about it, and that's the truth. The other thing is, your team sales are a large part of your income. Well, you can't make your team do work. You can influence them, but you don't control it. So if you can't control it, then you can't always be as strategic as you could be in another business. Every other business I'd run up until that point, I could control the strategy. Of course, not everything's in your control. Of course, life and business throws you a curveball, and the most successful people are also the most flexible people. But there needs to be a strategy that's predictable, that can be implemented to bring in a certain amount of revenue, or else you're kind of just shooting in the dark. And the thing is, with network marketing, I could control the amount of people that I recruited. That I could control. And I knew how much money I would receive from that recruitment, and I could control the amount of product sales that I personally brought in, and I knew how much money I'd receive from that. But what those people did when I recruited them, I could influence with the best training and being the best leader and giving them the best support. But I can't control it. They can still decide this isn't for me. They can still go off and have a month break. It's their business. So there's a big chunk of your business that is totally out of your control, and you can have the best strategy in the world, and you can say, I need this amount of money by this date, but there's too much of it out of your control to know that you're going to hit it, and that's the truth. But nobody was saying this anywhere. Nobody was saying this from the stage at the network marketing events. No one was saying this in the books. but it's the truth. So I was struggling with it because I'm like, I know that for me to have total wealth, I need total control over more of my income than I have right now. And I also need multiple income streams, because think about it. If you've got one income stream and something happens that's out of your control, then you're fucking vulnerable. You're really vulnerable. And the last thing I wanted to be ever again was vulnerable. If you've got 5 income streams and one that's outside of your control, something happens, you've still got another 4. So you're a lot less vulnerable. You know, you're not up shit creek without a paddle. You're all right. All right, you've been affected, but you're all right. So I knew that I needed more income streams with more control. I knew that. The other thing is, I had balance, and a lot of people didn't in the company that I was with in network marketing. There was a lot of messages from the stage at seminars that didn't feel right for me. Like, do what most people aren't prepared to do so you can live a life most people never will. And I agree with that to a degree, but it was being almost rammed down your throat that you got to work until you were bleary-eyed to be successful. And that's just the way it was. Not for me, it wasn't. And I didn't believe that was true. And what's the point? Because are you really successful at all if you have no life? But it was sold to you in the way that was like, work hard for 5 years and then you'll never have to work again. And that's bullshit. And this isn't the company, by the way. This isn't a company problem. This is just individual beliefs, leader beliefs within the company that create a culture where people believe, if I just get my head down and work hard for 5 years, I'll be all right. I'll never have to do anything ever again. And it's fucking bollocks. You can't, the business isn't structured to make that possible. It just isn't. It isn't. Businesses do this. If the leader of the business, a business like that, steps away, then the troops are lost. You can't, and you shouldn't be in a business where you are feeling like you can punish yourself for 5 years and go at unrealistic pace to then sit back and reap the rewards. Business should be a process of evolution constantly, a process that you love, that is balanced, where you can live your best life and continue to increase your success and not want to just like get to the end of the 5 years and fucking quit because it's so painful. That's not how it should feel. And that's not how it felt for me. So I had a problem with subjecting people to that message because it was total out of alignment with what I knew to be true. And I also knew that you can create money online and it's easier than it's ever been to do it, and you don't have to fucking sell your soul for it, and you don't have to put your kids in childcare and not see them, and you don't have to do all that stuff. And the other thing was, really honestly, I just knew I could make more money and help more people if I was a coach. And that's the truth. So all these things had started to fester. And I wasn't unhappy and I wasn't looking for an exit strategy. I just had enough concern and niggles to start to think, this isn't my everything forever. It just isn't. And I need to start changing things. So I kind of decided I was ready for more. I was ready for more. I was ready to evolve into the next phase for me. And I kind of just put that out there and thought, I don't know what that looks like. And this had been stirring for probably a year or 18 months, if I'm honest. But at this moment, when out there in Lanzarote, I thought, I'm ready for more. I'm ready to start taking steps to make this happen. And you know, isn't it funny when we make a powerful decision and we kind of declare that we're ready, things just show up. And what happened next was a business coach who was a British business coach, but she was living in LA, who was a friend of a friend, happened to be on the island in Lanzarote for a holiday. And she reached out to me, and I think we were connected on Facebook, so she'd obviously been following me on Facebook, knew of me through this friend of a friend, but we didn't know each other very well. She reached out and said, I'm on the island, do you fancy going for dinner? And I can't say I thought, oh, this is the universe guiding me and she's a business coach and I want help. I didn't think like that. I just thought that'd be pretty cool because I was fascinated by her and what she did, and she was absolutely my kind of person, positive and in the process of writing a book, and had got a great coaching brand. So I was like, yeah, that'd be awesome to go and meet her and have dinner. So we went for dinner. And we chatted about all sorts of things, life, we got on really well. And towards the end of dinner that night, she asked me, she said, so what's next for you? And this is a really interesting question, because I'd obviously been feeling like something needed to change. So I told her that. I told her how I'd been feeling. I told her some of my concerns, and I told her about my experience in other businesses, in this particular business, the things I'd learned, the things I felt like I'd got to offer people, that this strategy had formed, you know, like 7 key stages of success had really formed in my head that I knew needed to come together to make a really powerful online brand and business that could be built from anywhere. And I knew that I wanted to help people that weren't just network marketers. I knew that I wanted to help them with business strategy, and more important, money and wealth, because I've got a fucking thing against poverty. I hate it. I just hate poverty. I detest it. And I know that far too many people struggle that just don't need to struggle. And I was telling her about all these passions, and she just went, this is a 7-figure business that you have inside of you. Like, what the fucking hell are you waiting for? And her belief in me and that question of what are you waiting for stirred something inside of me that night that took me from like, I might do this, to I'm fucking doing this. Like that. And I will always be grateful to her for that conversation, because it just lit something in me. And I think also seeing that she was doing exactly that. She'd got a great successful coaching brand. She was about to release her first book. She was no different to me. I saw myself in her, and it just gave me the confidence to do it. And I thought, I don't know what I'm waiting for. And I felt really excited for the first time in a long time. Like, I didn't realise that I'd lost a bit of my sparkle until I found it again. And I was like, I'm really excited about this. It was a soul yes. And we've been talking a lot, haven't we, over the last few episodes about the soul yes. This was a soul yes. I was like, it lit me up. It lit a fire in me. I was like, I need to do this. The next morning, I can remember I got up at like 6 a.m. and I was brainstorming. I bounced out of bed with a spring in my step that hadn't been there for a while. I didn't even realise I'd lost it. I was just like, oh, I felt alive again. Every fibre of me was going, yes, 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 I've got to do this. I was brainstorming, who can I help? What can I help them with? Who can I help and what can I help them with? And that was the question that was going around in my head. What does my coaching brand need to be centred around? What's my experience? Where's it all? Where's the knowledge? Where does it provide a solution to someone else's problem? I just ended up with this big brain dump, and I could see it. I was like, yes, I want to help women in business that want to set up an online business that gives them freedom, but they don't have to be network marketers. Yes, like I can help them set up a passion business, whether it be online courses, programs, service-based businesses, as long as they've got, you know, a desire to build an online business and learn the things that I've had to learn to make this business work, then I can help them. And it started to take shape. But I thought, key thing that I knew was that this lady, this coach that had sparked this interest, this fire inside of me, she'd already done a lot of the things that I wanted to do. Like, there was a lot of things operationally about building this coaching business that I didn't know. And I knew that if I wanted to fast track my results, getting help from somebody that knew was smart. Going it alone would just take me longer, and I'd have to make more mistakes. I already knew the power of investing in myself. I was an avid learner and investor in me by this point, so it felt like a no-brainer for me to reach out to her and say, how do I get your support and how can we work together on this? I paid $20,000 for her support, and I didn't flinch at that investment because I knew that I needed, for me, and here's the thing, and this is the God's honest truth, I set out to develop a 7-figure business in my first year. I had that intention. I thought, I'm tired of 6 figures, I'm ready to be a millionaire. I'm stepping into this new level of success. I'm creating this new normal for myself, and I'm doing it in year 1. Because I'll be honest, the other thing that I wanted was a powerful story of this is what I did in year 1. And this is what's possible for you too. Because when you rise up and you do something extraordinary, you shine a light for other people to do the same, and you help inspire other people to go, well, if you can, I can too. And I needed and wanted a powerful, inspiring story to show other women that this is possible for you too, and I can show you how. So I just reached out to her and was like, can we work together on this? She was like, yeah, and that's what we did. And within 6 weeks of doing that brainstorm at 6 a.m. that morning, 6 weeks later I launched. 6 weeks. I had nothing but an idea. 6 weeks later I launched, and 5 weeks from that point I'd developed 60 grand in sales in my first 5 weeks in business, 60k. Some of you will be thinking, God, that was bold to just go, I want your help, and invest 20 grand in doing it and step up and just get it. But you don't get big results without making big decisions. You don't fast track your results unless you're working alongside someone that knows, because you don't know what you don't know. I didn't know what I didn't know, but I knew there was shit I didn't know. I wasn't arrogant enough to think that I could go it alone and get those results. Not a fucking cat in hell's chance. Who would I have been kidding to think that? Seriously. There's no way I could have fast tracked my results that quick, get it right first time, learn and execute, and get those sorts of results on my own. Because the stuff that I didn't know, and I didn't even know what I didn't know. So I knew I needed help. It's logic, it's basic logic. And because I was no longer stuck in fear, and I'd already been on this journey, 12 months before that, investing that sort of money and stepping up and doing that would have been too big of a step for me, probably. I was ready. I was ready for those results. I was ready to commit on that level. And that's why the results came as they did. Those first 6 weeks, they were hellish. I'm not going to lie to you. I was out of balance. From that kind of idea stage to launching, that 6 weeks was intense. Morning and night, morning and night. Was it worth it? Yes. 10 months after that, I did my first 6-figure month. Within 12 months, I had perfected a strategy that was just rinse and repeat. So I knew what I needed to do and what my team needed to do, because at that point I grew a team. It all happened really quickly. Every day, every week, every month, there were systems and structures in place that brought in a predictable 6-figure month. So I'd got a predictable, consistent 7-figure business within my first year. And those first 6 weeks were hellish, but honest to God, hand on my heart, I still had the balance and integrity to say to people, you don't have to sacrifice your sanity, your lifestyle, the time with your kids and your family, or go out of balance to achieve 7-figure success. And that's what I wanted to be able to say, because there was no way I was standing behind that hustle message for a moment longer, because I did not believe it, and I knew that success could be easy, and it was. It was. When I say easy, I had to learn some things. Is it easy to make the decision to invest in yourself in that scale? No. I'd got to do things that some people wouldn't be prepared to do, of course. But I went to Bali for 2 weeks in that first year. I went to the Caribbean for 2 weeks in that first year, and I didn't work while I was there. That's a lie. I worked a little bit, but the majority was like complete downtime. I did what I needed to do to keep the business moving, but I still took those holidays and had a really good time. I took Christmas off and went in a log cabin with my family and treated my family to a Christmas in the log cabin. I moved house and had 2 weeks off to move house and worked minimal in all of those times. So this wasn't like break your neck, head down, no room for anything else. I did it with balance, and it was important for me to do that, or else I couldn't stand up and hand on heart and say to people, you can do this and you can have it all. I developed a 7-stage, 7-figure system that is now what I teach in the Women's Wealth Accelerator, which is like my 12-month mentorship program. And next week, the final part of the part 4 of this 4-part series is all about the steps that I took in that first year. It's all about strategy next week. But I just want to talk you through some key reflection, success tips that you can pull out of this week that are kind of clues when I look back to the things that I had to do to make this happen. The first one is take the steps that you need to right away to live your best life, because if you feel good, success is easier. What can you do now? You know, when you shut your eyes and think about that life that you're looking to create, what can you do now that you don't have to wait for? Because you can't get into the game of, oh, when I'll be happy, when I'll do it, when. Like, what can you do today? What action can you take today? The second point is, what's the one thing that you need to focus on? Because if you think about it, when we first moved to Lanzarote, and that catalyst to get into 6 figures in our network marketing business was about focusing on one thing. And all the point leading up to that was, the one thing was lead generation, the one thing was recruitment, because I knew it was going to be the big thing that made the biggest difference. So that's where all my energy and focus went. What's the one thing for you that you need to focus on? The third thing was constantly review your goals. And not just your business goals, but your purpose goals and your personal goals, because reviewing them made me realise that something needed to change, and I couldn't continue building a network marketing business and have everything that I wanted at the end of it, because it just wasn't a fit for me. Not because network marketing's bad, but because it just wasn't right for me. It wasn't going to give me everything I wanted. It wasn't going to help me help the people I wanted to help. There was a whole chunk of people that weren't being helped that I felt called to help. So it's not just revisiting your business goals, but it's your purpose goals, your mission goals, the things that you feel you're put on this earth to do, the things that you've learned along the way that can help somebody else, but also your personal goals. I needed to feel safe and secure, and I needed total control. I wasn't going to get that in the business that I was in. So something had got to change, which is number 4, total control and multiple income streams. If you are relying on one income stream, you're vulnerable. If you're relying on 2, not so much, but still quite vulnerable. The more income streams you have, the less vulnerable you are, but also the more control you have over those income streams, the less vulnerable you are. If you're totally relying on an income stream now that you don't have total control over, then you're really vulnerable, and you want to change that really quickly. Point number 5, you can have balance and earn a fortune, but the strategy has to be aligned with that. If the strategy is not aligned with it, then you're not going to get there. There's no point in going, I want balance and I want to earn loads of money, but the strategy to get you there is out of alignment with that, and is going to see you working ridiculous amounts of hours to keep bringing the money in. Strategy has got to match the thing that you want. Number 6, be bold and don't be deterred. I was deterred so much. I was borderline bullied into not building this coaching business because people thought that it was a distraction. The leaders in the network marketing business I was with didn't want me to build it, because how did that remove my focus from building the network marketing business? It wasn't in their interest. They didn't want other people seeing me do that and then get distracted from network marketing. They didn't want me to become a distraction from people that might... Basically, they didn't want me to shine a spotlight on the fact that it wasn't the perfect way for me, because what if that shook other people and made them realise it wasn't the perfect way for them? I was alienated, I was screamed at, shouted at, there was bloody Facebook groups started about me, I was removed from Facebook group. It was stupid and awful, actually, but it would have been so easy to go, okay, I won't do it. But fuck that. There's going to be people that tell you constantly not to do the things that you're going to do because it's not in their interest, or because they don't agree, or because you've got to do what's right for you and the people that you're here to serve, and stay really viciously true to that. And the last thing is, no, they're not the last thing, number 7, last but one, investing in yourself. I don't say this just because I'm a coach. I might not be the right coach for you. You might not like me. My voice might irritate you. That might no BS approach might put you off and scare. It doesn't matter, but you've got to invest in you if you want to fast track your results. I'm a confident coach, and I can call people out about not investing in themselves because I've done it and I continue to do it. And I fucking know the power of it. I can say with absolute conviction that I wouldn't have had those results in my first year if I hadn't have invested. I just wouldn't. If I'd have gone it alone, I wouldn't. I'd have took the scenic route. When someone says to me, I'm going to go it alone, I can tell them, looking them in the eyeball, you are making a mistake, because I believe it. And that's why I'm a confident coach, because I believe in coaching. I see so many people struggle as a coach because they've never had a coach. So there's something out of alignment. There's a disjointed kind of thing. They're saying on one hand you need a coach, but on the other hand they've never actually walked that walk because they've never had one themselves, and that creates problems for people. And the last thing, point 8, is go fast and get it right first time. I always say it's either slow and painful or it's fast and painful. Either way, it's going to fucking hurt. Growing a business from scratch and scaling it and growing it really quickly is painful. Of course it is. But you can do it slowly and it still hurts. In fact, I think it's harder slow, because the longer it takes you to reach the level of success that you want, the more doubt you have. That seed of doubt grows and grows and grows. Every month that goes by that you don't hit your goal, every struggle that you encounter that takes you a long time to get through because you're going it alone, it makes it harder. You start shrinking your goals and you start going, okay, maybe I'll just be happy with that goal instead then. If I hadn't have gone 7 figures first year, let's fucking have it, invested, got it right first time, probably what would have happened is, because I'm only human, I'd have probably got 6 months in and gone, I'm sat at around that 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month, let's say. I'll probably be happy with this. I'll probably be happy with 30 grand, maybe, and start bringing them goals down, because those 6-figure months feel that just a little bit less achievable. It's getting really dark here. You're not going to be able to see me in a minute. You're going to have to see my teeth and the whites of my eyes. I'm going to have to finish soon, because it means I've gone on for too long. But the doubt grows. The time pours water on it. The longer it takes you to be successful, grows that seed of doubt faster, until you start sacrificing, you start making yourself smaller, you start compromising your goals, you start thinking maybe those big things aren't meant for me. In fact, it's harder to go slower. So my advice, fast and painful. Get it done quick, because actually it's easier to go quick than it is to go slow. So they're the key takeaways that I got when writing out this and preparing for this for you today for part 3. Next week, part 4 is going to be all about the strategy behind launching a business and increasing it to that level as quickly as I did, and what had to happen for me to do that. So the nuts and bolts in the strategy. So I want to hear from you so far, because if you've been following 1, 2 and 3, I asked you to commit and say you were all in the first one. What's probably going to be happening, because this is what we do as humans, we go all in and then commitment starts to wane as we start going through the more times that go on. We're in week 3 now. We're in week 3, so if you're still with me, I fucking celebrate you, because most people will have dropped off by now. That's the truth. Most people will have like, oh, forgot about week 2, or not put it in their calendar and said I'm all in and then not been so all in. Like, this is what we do as human beings. High achievers don't know. They see it through and they stick to things and they take action. So I want to hear from you if you're still all in. Comment and let me know you've been here from the start and you're committed to being here till the end and seeing it through and taking action. Let me know by commenting. I am all in. I've been here from the start and I will be here till the end, and I won't just listen, but I'll start applying these things that I'm learning from these 4 weeks. Comment, publicly pledge that that's the case, and please share, because the more that you share this, the more people that are helped. And this is, you know, no strings attached trading. I'm showing up here for you guys completely free of charge and just emptying my head over, you know, what it's took for the last 4 years so that people can learn. So let's help as many people as possible with it. Good for you guys. I can see you all commenting now. Even if you're watching on replay, comment and let me know, because I'm going to go back and acknowledge every single one of you, as, you know, credit to you for showing up and doing this, because let's face it, most people won't. It's a bit like going to the gym, isn't it? You can say like, I want to be a size 8. There's people that like the idea of being a size 8 and they're not going to go to the gym and they're still going to eat cake. And then there's people that really fucking want it, and they're going to cut out the shit and they're going to get to the gym and they're going to get up every morning and they're going to make it happen. There's a difference between I quite like it, quite like the idea of that, and then I really fucking want it. So I want to hear from you if you really fucking want it, and share it. Share it for more people that really want it and are ready to go to the next level. Thanks for logging in. I'll see you next week.